wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons, the Transformers. The Transformers.
Welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. Well, today guys, we're going to be taking a look at the 3 Prime Masters that have been released so far, and I'm going to go over kind of some of the things about these guys that maybe you didn't know. So anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get right into it. And first off the bat, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Micronus. Now Micronus, as you can see, his little pretender shell will convert into a double-barreled cannon. Now one thing is that is kind of a cool, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. That is kind of a cool mode, but I think that as we look at the other guys, you'll see that it's not the best out of this entire set. It's probably the second best. So if we go ahead and we plug we transform and plug Micronus in, you can kind of see him sporting his little Prime Master symbol there. Anyway, when you go ahead and look at it, I don't know why they're supposed to plug in like that, unless they're supposed to like charge the weapons with their prime abilities or what have you. But overall, it's a decent looking double-barreled rifle. And at the end, I'll show you guys kind of what they look like whenever they're all converted and everything. So here we can actually kind of see how Micronus looks in comparison to when they're being held as a weapon by a Voyager class figure. Now I've had Legends class and Deluxe class figures hold these guys in weapon mode also, and they just didn't quite seem, I mean, they just seemed kind of absurdly large, even on a Deluxe class figure. But if you have them on, like, say, a Voyager like this, or if you have them by a Leader class, so Voyager and up, basically, I think that they fit in scale, whereas the guys that are smaller, woo, man, it's late, or early, depending on how you look at this. But anyway, the guys that are smaller than the Voyagers, like I said, the weapon just looks a little too big to be held by them, which I was surprised as far as like the Deluxes go. Not so much on the Legends, but anyway, so you can kind of see how he looks. Alright, well, let's go ahead and see how he looks independently. And so, in looking at this guy and his armor, I just noticed something I never have before. Wow. Look, I don't know if we can focus in on that or not. He does have a tiny little Autobot symbol on the top of his helmet. I never even noticed that. I thought it was like a paint defect. But clearly you can see the symbol, the emblem right there. Ha! Who knew? Anyway, fun little fact I just learned, and I've had this for a while. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this Prime Master here, and you kind of see the details there on Micronus's body that he's got going on there. Nothing too fantastic. I'm gonna assume it's an entirely new mold. But anyway, aside from that, back on his pretender shell here, you can see that if you wish, you can actually store the weapon on his back, or if you want, you can go ahead and just pop it out of that deal like there, because if you notice, it does have a handle on it. And I do want to go ahead and mention this, that if you look at the hand, it is extremely thin plastic there on the top part of the hand. So whenever I think it's just been putting the weapon in there like that, if you kind of notice, there is a little bit of a stress fracture there, just because it is so thin. But it hadn't broken yet, and the pretender shell can actually hold it. Now, this weapon, I don't know, it just kind of seems like, especially from this angle, it kind of seems rather silly, but from this one it doesn't look as ridiculous. But then again, you of course have the little, hashtag E1110, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so let us go ahead and we will put him in here. And whenever he joins with his pretender shell, Micronus actually becomes, his pretender shell is actually known as Cloudburst. And so when you look at some of the artwork here, it shows as though he's his Titan, or his Prime Master head is supposed to be surrounded by his little, I guess, battle helmet here. And when you look at it at the right angle, you can kind of see his little Prime Master head in there. It's not as tightly or as cool as the artwork, but hey, you can still see it in there. You kind of see how he looks. Now overall, I think that probably out of the Pretender modes, I think that his is probably my least favorite. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike it in any way. I just think that the other two are a little bit stronger as far as their Pretender shells go. So we'll go ahead and give you back your weapon. And next we will go ahead and we will move on to Liege Maximo. Now Liege Maximo, I've never been really crazy about his weapon mode. I think that, and we'll kind of get to the issue I have with it. But if it was like, well, I keep saying that. So go ahead and transform and plug in Liege Maximo. And there he is sporting his emblem too. And so we will go ahead and get on to there's nothing really I can really say about it other than what you see here. It's better to be explained once you see it and used with an actual bigger figure. So here we come to Blitzwing, and if we plug it in, now see Liege Maximo, one of the things that I have with his figure, and it's not doing it right now, but I believe that this would be the best place on any figure. Like the other two Titan, or see, it's hard to get rid of that terminology. Like the other Prime Masters, any of the smaller figures, it just doesn't look right with. Now on here, it kind of looks like it's given Blitzwing like a kind of a Wolverine weapon, you know, like a claw armor, like a little attachment, which is really kind of cool. And it's holding in really well. Now some of the other the other 5mm peg holes, it was loose and it was kind of swiveling around. But with Blitzwing here, it actually looks like it's holding pretty well, and that's why I like the look of it as an arm attachment. It just didn't really seem to make sense if somebody was to hold a claw weapon with a downward facing handle. You know, like it seems like it would make more sense if the handle was, you know, kind of like at an angle where they could, you know, just kind of swipe a little bit more. But with this, what you could do is you could kind of pretend like the Prime characters, like their arm becomes like a, you know, weapon, like where you know, like Prime, his arm became like a cannon, and just, you know, if you want to go that route, you could do it and use it here. Or maybe you do like the fact he's holding it like this. I mean, it's whatever your preference is. We will go ahead and take a look at him individually. Okay, so in taking a look at Liege Maximo, yeah, I mean, not too much difference that I can tell. Especially when we look at, it looks like, yeah, there's a little bit of difference between these Prime Masters. So whenever he combines with his Pretender shell, he becomes part of Skullgrin, as we can kind of see on the back here. And there is his amazing artwork, as you can kind of see there on the package. So let's go ahead and one of the things is I never watched the show, but this, especially with just the way it's designed, I mean, this is like screaming like kind of Skeletor levels here, especially with like that skull on his belt. Because I've seen clips of you know, like whenever they make fun of them, and like I guess Skeletor had like a skull on his belt or something. I don't know. If you guys watched He-Man, let me know. But you can go ahead and take his attachment off his back, and yeah, it's big for him, but hey, if he can use it, cool. That just adds to the whole creepy aesthetic this thing has going on. So once we have him in his Pretender shell here, I think if you throw out the Skeletor elements, once you do that, I actually like this little Pretender shell because it just looks gnarly. And I mean, it's a cool little figure. You know, it's just the right size. And yeah, I really like it. Now, I do think that Micronus' weapon mode is better than his, but I do like his Pretender shell better than Micronus's. We will go ahead and we will move on to Vector Prime. And as we can kind of see Vector Prime's weapon here, this is actually a pretty decent rifle mode. I really do like it. So we will go ahead and do like the others. Go ahead and plug them in there. And I don't know what how the prime power. Oh, Yeah, see that? That is just, I think, I like that. I like this Prime Master out of all. His symbol's the coolest. I don't know if, like, you know, when they plug in, like, if they're supposed to power the gun. I'm not sure for certain. I guess maybe he would function like Hot Rod from the last night. Maybe he slows down time with whatever, you know, his rifle targets. I don't know. Just looking at it, though, from a design aspect, I think that this is even better than Micronus's. This is probably my favorite overall Titan Master weapon mode. So let's go ahead and just hand them off to Blitzwing here. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks cool. Man, that's cooler than his weapon he came with. Oh man. Yeah, I do like that right there. That is pretty legit. I like that. Looks pretty good with Blitzwing here. So you can kind of see how he looks. Whoops. Blitzwing's went to fall over. Been drinking too much Energon? You need to cut back on that. It'll get you one day. So anyway, yeah. Yep. Okay. I don't know, I sound like an old man when I just did that. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and take a look at him individually. Alrighty, so here we have him with his Pretender shell. And let's go ahead and, you kind of saw him when I was comparing him to Liege Maximo. Oh, something's tickling my throat. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, his Titan Master is like the best out of all of them. Especially with that sick emblem on the back. Yeah, whoa, my goodness. About lost him. He about fell all the way down to the floor. Again. This is getting rough, guys. Please stick with me. Anyway, yeah, I do like his Titan Master. I think it's, yep, he is the best Titan Master out of all these guys. And to boot, he even has a more awesome Pretender shell. What's he got, like a 6-pack on that thing? Anyway, but yeah, I love how just detailed this is. Man, that Pretender shell is looking pretty cool. I love it. Yep, it's official. This is my favorite Pretender shell. Favorite type. This is my favorite out of all three of these guys. I don't know what it is. He has like this metal hawk, but he, you know, what's funny is whenever he combines with his armor, he becomes Metal Hawk, which you can kind of see the artwork for that there. See, it even says Metal Hawk. So, anyway, yeah, I do like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and put him in there. And see, his hand is a little bit thicker than Micronus's. It looks a little bit thicker because of the detailing that they added for the fist there. So yes, and even though with his absurdly large barrel gun right here, that is really, yeah, yep. I don't know why, guys. I liked the Vector Prime from, even though I didn't like the overall series, I liked the character of Vector Prime from Transformers Cybertron because he was voiced by Rhinox, and Vector Prime was kind of cool in his own right. So to have a Prime Master Vector Prime, that's really cool too. So, and of course I probably didn't need to bring out the fact of, look at his oh, look, and you can see his head really clearly, better than you could Micronus. So anyway, you feel lucky, punk? Anyway, yeah. Anyway, guys, so if between all these guys, between Vector Prime, Liege Maximo, and Micronus, please feel free to comment in the comments down below which is your favorite. I always love hearing from you guys. It's always such a pleasure. So please, like I said, feel free to leave your comments down below which one you like the best. These Prime Masters are the only ones that have been released so far. But anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this review. And until next time, we will see you guys in another review.